Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Aegis Esports Team League Season 2. This is week 2 of our round robin where all these teams will be playing against each other. I'm Salty Boy, joined here on the mic with Gummy, and we're going to be bringing y'all the action with two team head-to-heads to close off this night.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. Thank you for the introduction, by the way. But like Salte mentioned, we have 4 teams playing tonight, right? 2 games. Let's get into the formatting, right? So first things first, we got 9Moons versus RFLCOPTERS, right? You definitely know these teams. You definitely heard of their players, right? On the 9Moon side, we have Rat, Smitty, Marvello playing tonight, right? Let's talk a little bit about Marvello. Marvello, might go, love him. Excellent player. Just got 17th at CEO. If I'm not wrong, yeah, 17th at CEO. And actually picking the Slayer. I think Marvello's actually sticking with the Slayer this time around. Moving on from Chip, testing the waters with them. We got on RFLCOPTERS, Salty.
On RFLCOPTERS, we have Jeek on the Milia, Lucian, also known as Luke SFL, here on the Happy Chaos, Lurie on the Faust, and Hacken Mango on the Testament. And a lot of these players, not just 9Moons and RFLCOPTERS, have very strong tournament results all around. These are players that regularly make top placings, not only in online brackets, but in majors as well. So there's a lot to look forward to, specifically with our highlight player for RFLCOPTERS in the form of Lurie. Lurie will be rocking the Faust as always, 33rd at Otaku 2023, 13th at DreamHack Atlanta, and 49th at Frosties. And this doesn't even mention all of the online brackets he has played in, and actually has played in Season 0 and Season 1 of the Team League. And what I'm really looking forward to is all of these players playing, but also Lurie and that Marvello head-to-head. But before we go even further, let's talk about the rule set real quick, just to get everyone up to speed, because this is a complicated format. First, starting off with the prize pool, we have here $350 out of the $700 in the prize pot going to first place. In second place, we'll be getting $210, and third and fourth will be getting $70 each. Going down to the formatting here for the scores, each team will be playing in a series. A series is 3 sets. As you can see here, set number 1 and set number 2 will both be a best of 5, first of 3, and will be giving the teams 1 point. While set 3 is a best of 7, a bit of a longer set, and will also be granting 1 point. If you're confused about how this works, you can look down there on the graph where team 1, if they win set number 1, they'll be getting 1 point. But if team 2 wins set 2 and set 3, they will be winning that team series with a 2-1.
Yeah, and even like Salty mentioned, right? If they win the team series for the first team, that's not the end of the show. We still have 2 more teams after that playing, so don't tune out immediately afterwards. And I think all players are ready.
Yes, seems like it. We have some players entering in the lobby right now, but just to catch you up to speed, I know that we have talked about the players already. Yes, 9Moons versus RFLCOPTERS will be playing right now. And if you can look at the head-to-head, you can see actually specifically which players will be playing in each of these sets. You can see right here, Rat versus Lucian in set number 1. Smitty versus Jeek in set number 2, and finally Marvello versus Lurie as set number 3. And what's really important about that set number 3 being a best of 7 is actually Lurie beat Marvello in the last season. It was a 4-3 situation, final hit, final round, and Lurie came out on top. So both these players are winning that run back. Marvello specifically knowing that he could win and actually representing that different character in the form of Slayer like we talked about before.
Yeah, I wonder how the Slayer's gonna do, especially, like into Lurie, right? Because Slayer's been out for a few weeks. Both players have had time with the character in their hands, and Lurie calling out Marvello again, not showing that he's not afraid even of the Slayer. I'm definitely very excited. But there are some other matchups that I think are runbacks as well. I think Jeek and Smitty played last season as well during the same set during Marvello Lurie. So I'm excited to see that run back as well. I'm excited to see all these games tonight. Got a lot going on.
And speaking of new characters, you have Marvello on the Slayer, but you also have Smitty on the ABBA. I guess ABBA isn't as new as Slayer, but But did come out this year. I think, what was it, April? So very recent, and Smitty seems to be switching over to this character from the Happy Chaos. I'm really interested to see how that set is going to turn out against Jeek. Very explosive is what I am guessing. And here we have Rat versus Lucian. Of course, Rat, a very strong melee player. Lucian, a very strong Happy Chaos player. And I'm sure they played plenty, not only in bracket, but outside of bracket. And that's also going to be another fun one, specifically because Happy Chaos, he has the gun, he shoots, has the zoning, has the rush down, and you got to think about how a character like Millia, a very fast character, very mobile character, will try and weave through that zoning, weave through that pressure, and try to get something started on their own. It will definitely take a lot longer than normal matches will take because these are very low damage characters, and of course, we'll be getting a lot of bursts as well. So you can see a lot of different interactions, not only with the meter gain, but also with the burst gain in that set.
Yeah, like we mentioned the burst game and the low damage, right? So we're just going to be seeing a bunch of wild assaults because neither character actually kills each other, the other character, in like 2 hits, right? So we're going to see a little bit of a longer set for this first one, the Millia HC. But, on the other side, with Smitty and Jeek, that's a little bit more of an explosive matchup, right? Because like I imagine it's really hard for Millia, although you do have the really fast buttons, the great mobility, the neutral, the set play. Abba has damage, right? So like you can factor that into maybe it skews it being a little evenish for the matchup and whatnot. But I'm excited to see how that one plays out too.
That's true. And Abba does have a very strong defense. You have the Donzai in the install form, making it so that Abba can really just ignore a lot of pressure that Millia might actually try to throw Smitty into. So those defensive mechanics could come into play, but it's all about getting into that state, which is the hard part because Millia is such a hard, tricky character to pin down, and she can so easily pin you down as well. But looks like we're getting into our first set, Rat versus Lucian in our best of 5. A Rat on the Millia, Lucian here on the Happy Chaos. Game number 1. Let's go. Lucian already taking those first hits and actually bringing Rat into the corner, but great backdashes representing that far slash already to keep Lucian at bay.
Yeah, look at this. I like this pressure that, Rat's got going on right now, using the wild assault, blocks the overhead, and we might get a wall break here. Now, Lucian does not want to actually give up positive bonus, right? Because it's very scary if either character gets going.
Tried to roll to get in, but Rat immaculately spaced out of range. Tries to go for the Artemis to bait out a mash attempt from Lucian, but Lucian now finally out of the corner is going to push Rat up against the wall. Instead, finding a counter, going straight into the super. This is going to be an immediate wall break as well as positive bonus. Lucian can close this out very fast if he finds a single hit. This is a one-touch situation, and Rat needs to get in.
All right, we have Curse on for Rat. We're using the YRC to immediately get out of anything and trying to run our offense. And the 5D gunshot will take the round. Lucian up 1 round right now.
And will be getting that full burst back very soon as well. Rat also sitting on full burst, already spending it on that first interaction, but Lucian able to pick it up after Rat tried to push the offense afterwards, and this is going to be free corner carry all the way to the wall. Lucian, though, not going to go for that wall break, and instead trying to get more damage from this interaction, like we're seeing here, with the super trying to get some gut crush and also hard knockdown as well.
Yup, and here we go. We're just running our offense, right? That's a hard to block overhead. It's very tricky to see, honestly, but a lot of reward off it. Lucian winning the game from it, taking game number 1, right? But it's not over because we are running a first to 3. We're running 2 first to 3s and a first to 4. So, we have a lot of time. We have 2 more games potentially to catch up and adjust.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about that move that Lucian actually represented right there with the 5D. That's going to be one of Happy Chaos's most potent mix-up tools because he doesn't have any other standing overheads. But as I talk about that, we got to talk about this character swap from Rat. Switching over to the Soul Bad Guy instead. The Millia not working out and trying to make something different work. While Rat does main the Millia, that is not a character lock. You're not forced to lock into those characters. And we're seeing it right here with this character switch.
Yeah, and the Soul Bad Guy. Talk about explosive matchups, right? Like look at that could have been very big damage right there. But Rat on Soul Bad Guy, right? Definitely very familiar with the character. And if you haven't noticed, Soul is a pretty good character, especially in this matchup because you have so many defensive options. Your damage is pretty huge. Yeah, speaking of huge damage, we've already lost 70% and the wall break, but we're returning to neutral here, and we still have the positive bonus on deck.
Oh, and right now Lucian has no bullets, but will be refilling all of that automatically with the super, and that super will actually be enough to kill Lucian, trying to take another game, trying to speedrun this set against Rat so far. I'm not too sure if this Bad Guy swap is really working out for Rat, because Soul Bad Guy has to be such an offensive character, and right now Lucian is putting Rat on the defensive instead.
Yeah, Rat trying to find an opportunity to get in. We have Wild Assault to use, but I don't think Rat wants to use it just yet without any meter to maybe back it up.
Curse Burst coming out from Rat. One more chance, one more opportunity, but Lucian just shooting Rat out of the air, keeping Rat from going for any of their approach options, spending the Wild Assault to keep this pressure going. And Rat doing a great job staying there in the corner. Bandit bringer RC getting a free escape, and a counter hit. Close slash will land it smart. All the work that Lucian did to take that lead has now disappeared. Rat putting Lucian up against the wall, but still needs to make their way in, and with that clone in their way, it's going to be even more difficult.
Oh, that's a GameStop trade if I've ever seen one. Lucian takes game number 2 off an unfortunate trade. Rat on the back end, but I do believe in the Soul Bad Guy. It can work. But I definitely like right there towards the end that what Lucian was doing, right? Your back's to the corner, you have no bullets, so we're just gonna clone and just maybe try to, play a little bit of defense, right? In order to get our bullets back and maybe secure a win, just like Lucian did. But here we are going into game number 3.
Yeah, those clones are very smart. Lucian has been actually going for a lot of those clones when they have their back up against the wall like that, because the clones basically tank a single hit for you. And so that makes approaching Happy Chaos very scary, because if one of your moves get hit by the clone, then what is your follow-up want to be? Happy Chaos is still actionable, can still push the offense after you try and delete that clone. And right now Lucian is on the offense, immediately turning the tables around, but a DP and a throw coming out from Rat, tossing Lucian into the corner.
All right, here we go. This is a scary part, right? Against Soul Bad Guy. 50 tension, full Wild Assault. You know what? Nobody wants to be here. And Rat just running some strike throw, and Lucian finds the opportunity to get out.
But you're going to have to get at least 3 or 2 more combos in order to kill right here. Happy Chaos isn't a very high damage character, but Rat is on the Soul Bad Guy, and that's a very interesting burst coming out from Lucian, spending the health to go for that clone, and was not able to tank that hit in the end. Starting this next round here without any burst on the table, that can be very scary, because like you said, Soul Bad Guy, a very explosive character, and can delete your health bar in seconds with the right hit.
Oh my gosh, and we got throws. Here we are, take him to the corner. Rat running the offense. We have Wild Assault on deck, and Lucian just finds an opportunity. It's always finding these little windows of opportunity to just get out of the corner. But Rat brings them right back, and Lucian fights once more.
Backing up, great air dash. I saw Lucian try to go for the anti-air as well, but did not end up working out. Rat finding another throw. The strike throw pressure is working so effectively on Lucian, and there's the wild throw RC, but messes up the combo.
Another throw will do
up at the end. All right. But yeah, right now those throws are starting to be a very potent offensive tool for Rat. Lucian has not been teching a single one of those, and there's also a bit of fear to check those as well, because if you end up going for the strike instead, those counter hits from Soul Bad Guy, that's not a situation you want to be in, especially up against the wall. Those clean hit Volcanic Vipers coming in. We saw how much damage one of those clean hit Volcanic Vipers did, where it basically just destroyed Lucian's entire lead that he had built up for the entirety of that round. So there is a bit of fear trying to prevent those throw loops from happening. But right now, I think Lucian actually has to be a little more proactive about trying to tech them, because that's a lot of damage you're taking.
Yeah, so Lucian's, it seems like the way Lucian's going about defense is, if there's enough space, I'm going to press a clone and maybe make that my zone, right? Make it scarier for you to approach. Definitely is okay with just blocking things out, but Lucian has been doing a very good job at finding small windows to press a button and get their offense started and get out of the corner, right?
Absolutely. But remember, this is still a first to 3. Rat still needs to win 2 more games, while Lucian only has 1 more, is on that doorstep to take the first point for RFLCOPTERS and find the gold burst, getting that positive bonus this early into the round. That can be very scary. Happy Chaos with a lot of meter on hand means that his pressure, like this, we're seeing right here, though, throw into the RC to extend that combo, but drops it at the very end.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's that window of opportunity we were talking about before.
Oh, but that's very scary. Very smart option from Rat. You know, even though the clone does take a single hit, you can cancel off of that, whether it's a Gatling, whether it's a special cancel, or it's a Roman cancel. Good counter overhead coming from Lucian, and that's going to be the first round going to Lucian here in game number 4.
Yeah, Deus Ex doing a lot of guts crush plus the wall break damage. No chance Rat was going to survive that. But we do have burst on deck on Rat's end. Almost has it on Lucian's end.
Punish immediately going for the concentration. DP on wake up coming out from Rat, resetting the situation. But back at full screen, Lucian just charging right in, trying to get offense started. And Rat trying to get offense started of their own, but drops the combo midway through, interrupted by the 6P. And there's the Bando Revolver coming through, interrupting Lucian in the middle of their action. And that's going to be the wall break for Rat.
Yeah, we have positive bonus on Rat's end, right? But Lucian still has burst, still has a little bit of health, but gets hit by the overhead. Rat tying it up in the rounds. Not going down without a fight. We are down burst. Oh, nice. Look at this.
There's going to be a wall break early on. Yeah. A single hit is all Lucian needs, and will actually be spending that burst as well to get the hard knockdown from Wild Assault. And that positive bonus is building up. Rat, though, finding another hit. And that's going to be a clean hit Volcanic Driver. Look at the damage that I was talking about off of a red Roman cancel as well. And the side swap with the roll, the BRC to extend the combo, a red RC to extend the combo even further, and Lucian sitting on full burst resources. While Assault is going to be playing a very big factor, or even a burst coming out as well if Rat does find a single hit. And that's what we're going to see right here, resetting the situation, actually putting Happy Chaos back into that advantage, because Happy Chaos can play that zoning game if he wants to.
Yeah, it's definitely scary, right? Because using each clone definitely takes some of your... Oh, that was a weird interaction. It takes some of your health, and it actually just costed Luke, right? That was maybe like 30% of health in clones we're putting out there. So it definitely is some risk to it. And against a character like Soul Bad Guy, where, you know, your health is a resource and it matters to have, it's very scary to do. But Rat finding the opportunity to get in and tying it up 2-2. We're suddenly seeing a game 5 here, folks.
Yeah, man. Already starting off with a game 5. That's what I like to see. The sets being so even, so close, and you really don't know who's going to be winning. Like, it is basically just uncharted waters. This is still week number 2, and even though some of these players have played each other before, this is a new season and a little bit of a change to the previous format as well. So a lot to not really. There's a lot that you have to, I guess you can't really expect at face value. And like we're seeing right here, Rat with that almost reverse sweep, just one more game, but I mean 2 games in a row in response to Luke's very strong lead, and Lucian taking a bit of a break right there, gathering their thoughts and staying on the Happy Chaos. Game number 5 of set number 1 is underway.
Yeah, the mental reset is definitely an important thing, right? The mental reset is definitely an important thing, right? Because, like, without it, you're just rushing in. You might start making mistakes that you're making before. So definitely good on Luke for taking that. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Trust me, you don't want to be making any mistakes against a character like Soul Bad Guy. We saw that counter hit immediately, and Lucian was like, no, I will not take that damage like we're seeing here.
Oh my goodness.
The wall break. Great combo coming from Rat into the Wild Assault, and man, look at that health bar, just absolutely devastated. And looks like you were right before. That Soul Bad Guy switch is really working out for Rat.
Yeah, right. And look at the offense, because Luke is definitely okay with blocking. It's so scary against Soul Bad Guy, right? Because any one wrong hit definitely adds up, right? If the wrist guard, the wrist strength is cranked up.
Super coming out, Deus Ex Machina. Lucian trying to pull a Deus Ex Machina here in round 1 of game number 5. Wants to be the one to set the pace, not Rat. And actually, RC's baits out the burst. Extremely good read coming out from Lucian and putting on a very big lead, starting here in what could potentially be the final round, as now Rat has no burst starting off.
Yeah, we have no burst, but like we mentioned before the set even started, that Happy Chaos doesn't do a ton of damage, so we will be building Soul Bad Guy a ton of burst. But look at that one wall stick and that super almost to full burst, but look at that health bar depleted.
Yeah, you say it does no damage, but with the right hit, any character in Guilty Gear can do a lot of damage, like we're seeing right there. One more interaction, one more good combo from Lucian will seal the fate for Rat, and unfortunately that Fafnir will be putting Rat into an early grave, and there's the burst bait, but not close enough to get that punish. Then there it is, the clone coming in, tries to hit the clone, tries to hit Lucian, but the clone taking the hit, and that's going to be the first set going to Lucian and taking the first point for RFLCOPTERS.
Yeah, first set being a game 5 was not something I expected. You know, I wasn't expecting a wash, I wasn't expecting any sweeps, just maybe wasn't expecting a game 5 scenario, so I'm pleasantly surprised. Good job to Lucian, winning 1 point to the RFLCOPTERS. Yeah, you know, we were talking about how we were not expecting, like, you know, just the game 5. It came up as a shock first game, but I think we're actually going to just skip our second set for now, Spitty Jeek, and we're gonna head straight into Marvelo Lurie, right? What's supposed to be the main event, the first to 4 run back. We will be coming back to Smitty and Jeek right after this set, but here we are, guys. The run back. We're all here. We're waiting for it. I am excited to watch this. I love watching both these players play.
We're skipping straight to the ending. No, I didn't watch season 1. I didn't watch season 2 of the show, but I'm watching starting off with season 3. That's a crime. But yeah, we're going to be starting off with Marvelo versus Lurie. This is going to be playing out how we described it before. This is set number 3. We will be running that best of 7, that longer set. And it's a bit unfortunate that we're not able to cap off this series with set number 3, but it is how it is. If we have some player complications with Smitty trying to join the room or is not currently available. So we're just going to switch right here to set number 3. Like you said, Marvelo versus Lurie, that big run back, and Lurie locking into the fouls. And let's see who Marvelo locks into. Actually, straight to the chip. Not going to be playing the Slayer at all, at least starting out.
Yeah, you know, if it's a run back, there's a lot of pressure on this set because this is like every point matters, right? Every win matters. So maybe we might not be comfortable with the Slayer yet, and Chip Faust is definitely a pretty, you know, I have been told it is pretty good for Chip. So, and maybe Marv is just more comfortable in it. You know, there could be a lot of reasons, but nonetheless, here we are. Yeah, set number 3, Marvelo versus Lurie.
Game number 1 as well. Immediately starting off with a massive counter hit. And Marvelo already ready to capitalize off it. Lurie spaying that burst. 6H finding his mark, trying to throw out the item, but no mini fast will be coming out because Marvelo is going to lock Lurie to the side, swap the area switch with that super.
Yeah, here we go. We got that positive bonus on locking and Chip Zanif nonetheless. So this pressure will feel very scary to block. Look at all that meter gain, but Lurie finds a way out.
Yeah, very smart from Lurie actually, because Faust's crouch actually low profiles a lot of moves, specifically that overhead, and it can go straight for that 2K anti-air super coming out from Lurie. It's very rare that you actually see this super, so it's very cool that we're seeing it come out from Lurie and gain that wall break as well. No items on deck, but right now wants to overwhelm Marvelo as much as possible. Great blocks from Marvelo, not breaking under the pressure that Lurie is representing, even amidst all of these wild assaults and that risk building up.
Oh, and there's that max burst you were talking about, right? Led to the 2K counter hit, being unable to burst, letting Lurie take the first round of the set here.
I think Marvelo was trying to take back their turn after mix, and Lurie went straight for that RC into the 2D to catch Marvelo off guard. But we're here one round in Lurie's favor, but Marvelo trying to even things up here.
All right, going straight into the super because we want that cash, we want that positive bonus, and that hard knockdown. So we're going to go right back into the same scenario we saw before. I'm looking, this must be deja vu.
But suddenly the tides can swap in this neutral situation that will be represented very soon because Lurie does have meteors on a deck in that pocket available to spend at any time as right now just chucking as many items, trying to pollute the screen as much as possible against Marvello and keep him locked down. But Marvello with extreme patience finds the opening, finds the opportunity, and catches Lurie on the retreat, and that's going to be a wall break. The clone coming out, Lurie spending the burst, believing in the round, spending the super item toss as well, but giving him the trumpet. Oh, very scary situation, but the burst of bait from Lurie will be securing that first game for him.
Yeah, that last situation there was actually like so hard to burst out of, right? You have the Afro on you, you're right in front, you got hit with the JD, which does ignite the Afro with a short delayed explosion. It might have been a check seat scenario, was not sure, but nonetheless, Lurie taking game number 1 here, showing that the call out was not for nothing.
And if you're Marvello trying to win the set in return, this is not a great start. On this run back, this is not a great start for Lurie to take that first game, but it is a best of 7. Plenty of time for both these players to adapt, and that score can change very soon, like we saw with the first set. I mean, game number 5 just starting off. So we could see a game number 7 potentially. Right now, Marvello is going to get a very interesting burst situation. Mix, putting him onto the other side, and Lurie now back up against the corner.
All right, and here's the scary part about Chip, right? The corner pressure is the scariest part about this character. You know, obviously the neutral is very good, but if you're there and they have meter, you're holding a lot of stuff. And speaking of holding a lot of stuff, we might have to hold some mix here.
I'm trying to get another hit to extend the combo, with the bomb interrupting it, and Marvello out for free. Pixel of life remaining a pixel of life and a dream. The counter hit coming out from Marvello, but you only have so much meter to avoid all of this chip, but right now Lurie cannot avoid the chip. And Marvello actually winning that interaction. That was a very messy interaction that we just saw right there.
Yeah, I think the trumpet, like they all came down and saved Lurie there at the very end before Marvello got the kill.
Yeah, Faust be like that, polluting the screen where we can't even tell what's going on.
All right, here we go. Oh, with the nice counter hit, the jump does keep tossing some items, right? I'm noticing that Lurie is just wanting to pull up the screen, like you mentioned, right? It definitely seems in his best interest to do so. Because if you can lock down Chip, you have your best chances of winning that way.
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of these FDs coming down from Lurie, trying to push Marvello back out of his preferred range, and immediately you saw that whiff come out from Marvello, and Lurie immediately is ready to capitalize on top off of it. And the 100-ton weight coming down from the top ropes, catching Marvello on the skull like a cartoon anvil, will be giving Lurie the next point, the next game, the second game of set number 3. And now Lurie just needs to win 2 more, has already built off such a strong lead against Marvello, and Marvello is not going to be switching off of that chip, it seems.
Yeah, we were talking about how strong momentum, like getting momentum is early on in the set is, right? Now, like momentum can be mental stacks. So I wonder how Marvello is feeling about this. Like if we're just gonna adapt, how we're gonna change our approach options, maybe our defense. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. This is already such a massive lead for Lurie, and Marvello needs to work so hard in order to make this come back, but anything is possible at this point. These are both very evenly skilled players, masters at the characters they play, and Marvello is a master of this offense, already pushing that advantage against Lurie.
Yeah, spending the burst. Oh, back-to-back burst.
Full burst, actually. Getting that positive bonus for Lurie, but will be eating the super in return from Marvello to get the wall break, and actually going to be running out that positive bonus timer.
All right, spending that YRC, spending some of that cash, and we're going to take Marvello to the corner, dang near. We got a trumpet item. Oh, and we PRC it. We were not sure if it's going to hit. But Marvello's stuck with the Afro, and now you got to hold this. You're stuck in a scenario.
Oh, if you were able to capitalize off of that, that would have been crazy. But Lurie's still able to get the pickup in that scramble. And now Lurie looking to take another game. Game number 3. This is not how I imagined the run back to happen. I thought we were just going to be trading games back and forth. And a counter hit Marvello. No burst to his name. Trying to make anything happen. But Lurie is just unrelenting with their neutral, with their defense. Like we're seeing right here, not breaking under pressure.
Yeah, I definitely love seeing that. Lurie not being afraid to block, and Marvelo not being afraid to whip punish, going into the super, getting a hard knockdown positive bonus. We've seen this before. Now the party gets started on Marvelo's end, right? Always spending the meter for the red wild assault, and doing some big damage off here. Oh my gosh.
The high heavens, and that is going to be a lot of damage to even up the round count in game number 3. Marvelo needs to take a round here and now, needs to take this game over Lurie if they want to keep Lurie from getting a massive lead and preventing him from being in such a strong position. And that bomb is going to play a factor in keeping Marvelo out of his face.
Yeah, speaking of, out of the face, Marvelo just using all these resources to continuously run their offense. Marvelo taking them to the heavens, to the skies, bringing it back 2-1. Marvelo is not going down without a fight, and I love the adaptation we saw there, right? With Marvelo just dash blocking after almost all normals instead of waiting for a pressure sequence to end, giving Lurie less time and space to run their offense.
Yeah, lots of pressure resets. Because at that point, when Lurie is playing that patient, you just want to keep overwhelming him and actually take advantage of that patience in order to mix him up even more. Well played from Marvelo, taking that game and making the score 2-1 instead. Marvelo's still on the back foot.
All right, yeah, we're still on the back foot, but we have that momentum. We just talked about how important something like that is, right? And we have the game plan going forward. Now, how is Lurie going to, respond? How's Lurie going to adapt? That's what I want to see.
True J2K counter hit burst from Marvelo, an offensive burst actually, and a defensive burst coming out from Lurie, pushing Marvelo away. The Mix able to interrupt Marvelo's approach with the 5P and the J2K as well. Marvelo taking a lot of small packet damage that is starting to add up over time. Oh, and we get it again, crouching under the overhead follow-up from the Raka and anti-airing with that 2K, trying to jump up in the air, but didn't recognize that ton weight was actually up in the sky with him. That's going to be the first round going to Lurie in game number 4.
All right, going into the second round here, right? We're just playing it a little slow. Chip, Marvelo wanting to just run in there. Lurie not giving Marvelo the opportunity to get in and start their pressure. Nice 6P on reaction to the thrust. All right, here we go. Running our offense into the super. Yeah.
Giving Lurie a lot of burst in return. And we're seeing that faultless, not faultless defense, deflect shield, there we go, coming out from Lurie. Trying to go for the command grab as well, but Marvelo moving straight out of range and has plenty of meter for even more damage, like we're seeing here with yet another super. Lurie on a huge back foot in that 5D, not caught blocking overhead. That's going to be giving Marvelo the even count here in the rounds for game number 4.
Yeah, and the scary part about this matchup is that Faust does have some pretty large buttons, but they do have a ton of recovery. And Chip, the fastest moving character in the game, could capitalize off any whip punish into something like this, right? Another wall break. We're going to get that cash, positive bonus, probably have full burst, maybe spend some of it.
YRC coming out from Lurie, but a YRC in return from Marvelo. And Marvelo with the meter advantage, but not the burst advantage. And Lurie finding a counter hit. This could be huge as Lurie will be taking Marvelo closer and closer to the other side of the stage. Great backdash on that wall assault to avoid it completely. The last thing you want to do is block it or get hit by it. But right now, Lurie is getting hit by the super, and that super will not be enough to kill. I thought it was going to be it, but it's coming down very close. Lurie in a final hit situation and going for the 236K. A very risky option considering how slow that startup is, and could have easily been punished for it, but ended up working out. But after that situation, it was a bit of a scramble, and Marvelo was able to come out on top because Chip is that king of scrambles.
Yeah, scrambles. We might see a game 7 situation. We're tied up here in games.
Yeah, I was talking so much about Lurie taking a huge lead with that 2-0, but now we're back at that even score, getting closer and closer to the end of the set. Marvelo bringing it back, adapting to how Lurie is playing, and none of these matches have looked so dominating as it did in those first 2 games.
Yeah, so now we're getting the back and forth matches we all wanted to see, right? So, you know, you might say the real set starts here, the first of 2.
Yeah, that's true. You're past the gimmicks, you're past the intricacies of the matchup, and now you're coming down to the meat and potatoes of it. Oh, and the burst bait as well. Marvelo ready to steal that burst and make out like a bandit on Lurie.
All right. We've seen Lurie win these before, right? But Marvelo does have positive bonus, so we have a bunch of tension. We're just gaining passively. But Lurie finds the opportunity to squeeze out a corner carry combo and the wild assault for the hard knockdown and positive bonus. We're tossing out some items here immediately, trying not to give Marvelo any room to breathe, right? But now Marvelo is on the offensive.
Yes, keeping Lurie from trying to do anything from that full screen range, just rushing right in. That's the last thing you want to keep. That's the last position you want Lurie to find himself in, at that range where he's being undisturbed, able to throw out all these items. And Marvelo understands that, trying to retreat, but getting hit by that 2P on the back step. And that's going to be around going to Lurie, immediately backing up this time around, playing more passive, trying to not be as predictable as before. But Marvelo is already ready, just rushing right in, wants to be as aggressive as possible. And right now it is working out in his favor.
Oh, charging the wild assault to actually catch the backdash. Look at the damage we're seeing here, people.
Oh, but he gave him a banana. No, you didn't want him to die that easily. Wanting to keep our position. Very smart from Lurie, honestly. Making sure that, like, hey, I don't want a wall break. What I want to do here is I want to keep Chip locked down, keep Marvelo locked down in place so I can keep my pressure going.
Yeah, and right, and maybe like the wall break there, it definitely didn't shock, or the lack of the wall break shocked me. So I can imagine how Marvelo maybe might have been expecting it, how it might have thrown Marvelo off game, right? It definitely no burst came out, but Lurie taking the game 3 or game 3 on his end.
Yeah, taking back the lead. Now just needs to win one more game in order to take this set home. While Marvelo needs 2 more games if they want to see this win become a reality. Is Lurie going to be taking over Marvelo yet again? Will it be a 4-2, even more dominant than the last time? We'll see. It's a lot more back and forth than the start of this set. My bad. So anything could happen at this point. And very smart going straight to the super so we avoid the bomb.
Yeah, we had that momentum here on Marvelo's end, right? Keeping the pressure like real strong, but Lurie shutting down that area with that 2P. I'm noticing how good that button is in this matchup, right? Because Marvelo on Chip definitely wants to just keep dashing up, dash blocking, and that button is it's relatively fast and pretty far. Does a good job at stopping you in your tracks.
Marvelo taking a massive life lead against Lurie, and that will be the first round of game number 6. Yeah, we're getting to that point. We're getting to those final games of this set, and it's coming down so close. And Marvelo looking to take yet another one. Look at this lead that he is building up so early on, and positive bonus Chip. Those are 2 things you do not want to hear in the same sentence. Baiting the burst as well, but not able to get the full punch, but still finds the overhead hit and plenty of meter to kill afterwards if needed. A perfect for Marvelo, making a statement against Lurie, saying he's not out, even though he's down in that game score. And now we're coming down to that game number 7 yet again. Both players at 3-3.
Yeah, this is we knew it. The gimmicks were gone. Now the gloves are just here, right? I love seeing this. A game 7. We all want to see this, and this is exactly what I want to expect with Lurie having a call out post to most teams or most of anchors on their team, right? Like, I will be anchor. I will stand my ground. Marvelo, I want you to face me. Let's get the run back. And Marvelo showing he's not afraid on the chip, nonetheless, right? We know Marvelo's been playing Slayer. So I'm still very surprised and excited to see how this game 7 will go.
Same as well, but we don't have to imagine how it will turn out any longer because right now we're on that doorstep, knocking on the door, being let into the house for game number 7, Marvello versus Lurie. Who will come out victorious on the run back? Will Marvello be able to get the win in return, or will Lurie keep hold of that crown?
All right, here we are. Oh, we got a new color also. New color, new shoes. New game plan. Marvello keeping it the same though. Looking to whiff punish here on, when we got our corner pressure going.
Okay, going straight for a throw on Lurie. Good lead that Marvello is building up in the 5D tap. Dust will find his mark on Lurie into the super. And while Lurie does have burst on the table, I think Lurie is going to be very apprehensive about trying to use it because that life lead is just way too much. That deficit is just way too much. And Marvello is on set point over Lurie.
Yeah, and speaking of, Lurie wanting to save the burst, Marvello just seems like he just wants to use the burst, get, the positive bonus rotation going as fast as possible. But look at this damage going on here on Lurie's end, and the 100-ton weight shutting down the DP really early on. We're not taking that damage.
Man, that has been Lurie's best friend in all of these games so far. That 100-ton weight coming down from the skies, stopping Marvello in his track every single time. But Lurie is going to be needing more than just a friend, especially now that they have been burst baited by Marvello. Has enough meter for a super, but gets the accidental wall break.
Oh no, but the J2K with the BRC slowdown will make sure that it hits and it connects, winning Marvello the 1st to 7, the anchor run back. And that's, winning 9Moons and tying it up actually in her score, right? But now we have our next anchors, but we'll get to that in a minute. Marvello Lurie definitely played it very good. Shocked me with the Chip Xanath pick, but I'm glad we got to see it.
Yeah, that was honestly very crazy. I mean, previous set in season number 1 was a 4-3 Lurie's favor. Final hit, final round for both of the players. It came down that close, the inch of their life. But Marvello looking so much more confident this time around. And while it was still back and forth, while it still was a 4-3, Marvello did not take us to that final round. Marvello closed it out early on in game number 7 and looked so confident doing so. Well played to Marvello, and honestly well played to Lurie as well. These are your 2 MVPs of these 2 teams that you want to be keeping your eye on for the rest of these sets, the rest of these playoffs too as well when that comes up for the Aegis Esports Team League.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely a good idea to keep your eyes on all these players, right? Even some players who might not be on stream here, right? Some teams are streaming their own sets. Some players are streaming their own sets. Same everything, right? But next up, we have Smitty versus Jeek. I guess they're the real anchors today. But Jeek already here, ready on the podium. Got the gloves on. Now we're just waiting on Smitty. And I think that might be them right there.
That's Envy. Actually,
that is Envy.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't look like Envy. That doesn't look like Smitty's avatar. Okay, but looks like Suppress Envy will be subbing in for Smitty. Actually, the captain of the 9Moons team, but doesn't really play. So it'll be interesting to see how Envy ends up approaching this matchup here. It's a lot of the same that we were talking about before in terms of the Abamillion matchup, where it's very explosive, but Soul is a much more, I would say, reliable character in that regard. Doesn't have to rely on that install to get any noticeable offense against Jeek on the Milia.
Yeah, and also I feel like at all times, Soul Bad Guy might have an easier time of dealing with the Milia neutral. Right? We have the buttons, we have the speed, we have our special moves. We have a lot more tools at our disposal immediately to deal with some of this Milia pressure.
Yeah, right now, Soul Bad Guy is just such a well-rounded character. He did have some slight weaknesses in the previous season, but in year number 3, these changes, especially Wall Assault, benefit him so greatly, where his offense can just be so much more unrelenting than it was before, really rounding out his toolkit. And Jeek He's not going to be letting that sway him right now. Wall assault into the Mirage, into the Bad Moon, but not able to get the combo from it.
Oh, nice catch. Oh my gosh, wait, are we gonna kill off this? Oh, just barely not.
Could have killed if they rooted into the super, but a 6-8 coming down on Jeek, throwing him into the ground. That's going to be the first round going to Envy.
Yeah, you often hear that, you know, the coach don't play, but in this case, Envy is showing a good fight, right? Giving Jeek the work, running it back or subbing in for Smitty's end. But, you know, Jeek got the warm-up on, and we got the positive bonus on their end. Nice little cross.
Mirage into the Artemis, going for that double cross-up, catching Envy off guard. Such a scary option, because now you can just go for that double cross-up meterless now with Amelia.
Right, and
but a counter at 6H. Jeek is trying to play at a range, at that range after Artemis, but you just cannot do that. And Envy is doing such a good job at calling that out with that 6H, getting that massive counter hit.
All right, guess I'm neutral playing here, and Amelia just barely dodging some of these buttons here. What's the mix? We're guessing how we guessed wrong, but it's low.
Oh, what blocks from Envy, able to be that steel wall, not breaking under pressure.
Nice.
But was hit out in the end as Jeek finds that one neutral interaction, rooting it into the disc for that easy kill. And that's going to be the final round here for game number 1. Who is going to be taking it? Envy already putting on that oppression, but we've seen situations before where Jeek was able to get out of that situation and able to put their own mix on Envy instead. That's exactly what we're going to be seeing. Throw come out. That's going to be a disc Oki set up, going for the overhead as well. Envy not caught blocking overhead, and that's going to be another neutral interaction win for Jeek. Jeek's doing such a great job with this movement, using that fantastic speed on the ground to really just punish Envy at every opportunity.
Yeah, Envy not wanting to block play or like any of these games, right? Just uses the meter to run out of the corner, maybe try to get a nice little neutral reset, but G capitalizing off the mistakes. And 6P will end the game. So G taking game number 1 here, right? Because unlike the Marvelo Lurie's hit, this is back to first to 3. So we're already 1/3 there. We do have a less time to adapt, less time to, you know, maybe like less time to adapt, less time to make some moves to win. But if Envy has showed us anything, is that they can play. And Soul Bad Guy is never out of any fight.
But this will be the set to decide who wins right now. Both teams have 1 point on the table. We'll see how this ends up turning out. This is the set to decide it all. And right now, Jeek is trying to end this as early as possible, already with the first game under his belt. Just needs to win a few more, and the gold burst will be securing Jeek's round right now, as they'll be getting a lot of meter gain.
Oh, nice little DP we're checking here, right?
Straight into the wall, drops the combo midway through. Jeek, though, on his final legs, hitting that Bad Moon, opening up Envy. Not pushing himself away, but you can see that Jeek is playing more apprehensive than he was before at that range, because he's just keeping in mind, like, Envy can just go for that 6H at any time, get that massive counter hit, and then suddenly he dies for that one mistake. And right now, Jeek did die for a single mistake there, as Envy takes another round.
Right, it's definitely scary to run offense against Soul Bad Guy, right? Because, like, Soul, as we mentioned, has, like, is such a well-rounded character and has so many good defensive options with the 5K, the DP, supers. Just like right there, we saw, right, the 5K got Envy out of the corner, but now we're fighting back here. Oh, and the Artemis will catch the far/mash here. Look at this. Look at this. How do we block this?
One more mix for Jeek to open up. Envy finds the 2K hit, but not able to root it properly. Going for the Lush Shaker. And the 5K coming out from Envy. That's a fantastic mash option because it is 3 frames. But unfortunately, Envy was not able to root that into any real combo. And that's going to be a round win for Jeek, evening up yet again as we're going to the final round of game number 2. And Jeek hitting that overhead, catching Envy. opening him up, and a wall break is happening right and now. Positive bonus for Jeek. Lots of meter on hand, trying to go for the overhead yet again, but Envy this time blocking it properly.
Yeah, see, this is the scary part of playing against Millia. Millia has, Wild Assault, we have meter. We have a lot of blocks we gotta look out for. High, low, left, right. And your burst could get stolen, but right there, another opportunity.
The burst.
Yeah.
Just finish your food, finish your combos. At the worst, you take his burst. And that's going to be it. The Capel taking out that last bit of life from Envy, giving him some roses and setting down that red carpet as Jeek now has a clear line of sight to this set win. One more game to go over Envy in order to take it home for RFLCOPTERS.
Yeah, but I definitely think Envy could make this comeback potentially, right? Like, all these rounds are relatively close, and Envy is playing the defense very well, the neutral very well. It's just Jeek is just weaving in and out of the neutral, like, expertly, I dare say.
Yeah, absolutely. Immediately taking an early burst from Envy, 10 seconds into the first, into what could potentially be the final game. And Envy without any burst will be forced to eat even more mix-ups as Jeek will be going for that wall break and the Wild Assault for the hard knockdown.
Yeah, choosing to save the meter there actually, maybe for a reversal super right here. And this might barely, this probably be enough to kill. But here we are, one round Jeek needs. All Jeek needs is one round to win RFLCOPTERS the entire game for this week.
Set
for
nice. Jeek, and a fantastic jump on the throw attempt from Envy. Envy actually hasn't been representing the throws too often, so I'm very surprised that Jeek was just able to recognize that immediately and go for that option, avoiding it entirely. But now back up against the wall on a tricky burst coming out from Envy. Artemis spacing Jeek out a little bit further.
Yeah, I like this neutral that both players are playing here, right? But Jeek manages to squeeze in, and Envy manages to push them out. And there's the big counter hit we were talking about. All right.
From Jeek.
Oh, but the Capel, wow. That looked crazy. But we're shifting the hurt.
Empty low. The counter hit, and that is going to be the round, the game, the set, going to Jeek, beating Envy 3-0. A far cry from what we saw with the previous two sets, as Railfire Legion will be taking a 2-1 victory in this series over 9Moons, actually defeating the tournament reigning champs, the Aegis Team League champs now in the round robin.
Going out this early is definitely a little bit of an upset, right? Because we're not even in the playoffs yet. I wonder how this might affect 9Moons going forward, like in terms of like their placings and whatnot, right? But RFLCOPTERS winning the set definitely does a lot for them as well, because each win matters a lot, and each win counts towards a point.
Yeah, but right now, those were a lot of sets. Those are a lot of games, a lot of matches. We're going to get some time for these players to rest up and actually get ready, as we have Illyrian Royal Guard and a new Head Apes coming right up after this ad break. See you then.